the children. Please love yourself, or you cannot love.
Hi, and welcome to Cartwheels on the Sky, Poets, Poems, and Discovery. I'm your host, Blake Moore.
Rushing through your life with no time even for yourself, forgetting the divine and remembering to get your wealth. BMs and Lamborghinis before you love your house and car. You better love Jah. You better love Jah. Jah children, please love yourself before you love anyone else. Jah children, please love yourself, or how can you love anyone else? Society the way is leading the people astray. Advanced technology is leading the people astray. Self-unity is necessary, but some know who everyone else is and don't know themselves. They don't know themselves.
Gordon Black, a national treasure here in Mendocino County, especially to those of us in the poetry community. Born in Detroit, Michigan, Gordon Black is a second generation of a Polish background American. His father was a firefighter, later battalion chief, and his mother was a social worker and a theater director in stage and radio productions. And in his words, he was expected to succeed. He says he stumbled out of Ann Arbor and the University of Michigan with an MA in philosophy and pointed advice to go and get a job. Gordon says it took decades and luck to turn that degree into some steady bread and water, and he was very happy as an adjunct professor in philosophy at Santa Rosa Junior College for many, many years. He arrived on the Mendocino coast in 1972 and quickly engaged with the nascent poetry community, whereupon he turned from an extended prose writer to efforts in poetry. He served as a live radio host of a classical musical show for KZYX, and he has also been spearheading the annual Mendocino Spring Poetry Celebration for 8 consecutive years. He says, "I owe my own development in poetry to all the fellows in the regional scene, so I try to help keep it going." Well, here we are, keeping it going for you, Gordon. A whole lot of us are stepping up to continue what you started. You are an inspiration and a treasure. Thanks for all the service to the poetry community, Mr. Black. This one's for you.
On the Trail, Crossing Paths with Gordon Black. Number 1, The Disembodied DJ. Sundays, 1979, 6 p.m. Richard comes over to our cabin for dinner and to listen to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I am the only one in my Sherwood Road, Willits neighborhood to get a clear signal from KMFB on the coast. The presenter is Gordon Black, with a formal, mostly reverent voice. The performances from Chicago via Fort Bragg are stellar. Gordon's tone is memorable. I imagine him a white-haired senior citizen. Our gateway to the wondrous world of KMFB, an audible mecca in Northwest nowhere. 2, Where Two Lines Intersect. In the early 90s, I meet Gordon, a fellow programmer on KZYX. I've seen him read at a few poetry events on the coast and invite him as a guest on Wild Sage Poetry. He has a new book of poems that are often an ironic view of the philosophical poet who lives simply in a redecorated turkey coop. Maybe Thoreau with a great deal of wit, fortified with the back-to-the-land insights. We do several shows together, always fun. 3, Gordon's Gift. In 2005, Gordon wants to revive an annual Mendocino Spring Poetry Celebration. I agree to host and record the poets for broadcast on Rhythm Running River. Gordon arranges, promotes, and produces the event. It is an open showcase for the wide-ranging poets of our region. It is a gift from Gordon to the community, which I share on KZYX. It is a success that forges on, despite our aging, and even COVID, which shifts the readings to homegrown recordings. Neighbors reveal themselves as poets in a most responsive neighborhood. Gordon's gift is an enduring legacy. Thanks, Gordon.
Overhearing Dorvald. Through the wood boards of his sign painter's studio, aloud to himself, one presumes, while I walk wild grass, sunny-toed, and old sandals to the outdoor shower, back and forth the good summer, with towel and soap nearly ungirded the old ranch, walled by the winds of the largest state forest, comfortably within the interior where we all talk to ourselves anyway, I presume. Wonder if he's touched. In his handsome and amiable head, he's entirely civil, competent otherwise. Letters the businesses along the coast with verve and proportion correctly spelled, even alone he's gregarious. Declamation, exclamation, questions, answers, such as I might try to hold immaterial, he booms through the walls. Well, why not? I'll try it. Join the inner with the outer, going at it 2-3 days, lifting whispers, currents, and stir to full voice, full body. No, some of what I strive to hear, I fear to be.
Dates. Meet you. Where? When? For what? Market. People do that. Animals, the whole ark full of 'em, can't. Stipulate significance. Red stop, green go. Can't meet for coffee at the Headlands. The hotel for scotch. Sweater, jacket. Animals are said to yearn. We know this. They don't. We knock 2 rocks to make a date. It's a date. Click. Only we, you and I, need know what it means.
Oh, she clings fondly. Oh, she clings fondly, cheek to the painted wood, voluptuating the door frame, a clef on a staff, a romantic announcement, breasts, hips bulging conversely across the vertical, trying on her misty eyes, calling out fond, silly cries, promises to make the heart leap. She is safe now in these pleasures as I leave.
Studio. Not just a realty buzzword, so never move in. Socks and spirit dwell not in the same world. Leave the laundry outside, cook elsewhere. This place is not for the body, except as acolyte to alchemist, making blood of gold. Bring only the pulse. In this gym, shake away dirty wrestlers with labors they wish not, to favor spirit resonating the scrubbed wood room as the sound box of a violin. Stir this resonance with time measured and told by these movements. The mind is signing. There is meaning to be made. Guard this practice against arguments yearning to lurk. Now is not the time. You have no right. Do not. Your wings do not suffice. Studio, I study. The philosopher Cratylus telling me I cannot step into the same river once, and waggling his finger signs futility of speech. His waggling finger is the speech. But here, it might be possible to stretch a shimmer, hold the fabric of all reality. So, don't let the socks and sidewalk follow you through the door. Don't quarrel with your girlfriend. Marry her and keep the peace. Or tell her anything. Just don't move in to the doggone studio.
Fine, how are you? Stone calendar dragging. Can't stop to decipher. Different from Sisyphus, he has no deadline. The clock tells me who I am and when. Too staff dependent. Muse, fatigue, reinterpret, leather bouncing. This boxer won't fall, that's all. Overseas, they say, terrible, terrible. Means the same as fine, thank you. Did you really want this reply? There's more, and if I need ask, you don't. Am I writing? Ouch! Please, goodbye.
Pursuit. Up the sidewalk, your trim hind, penitently considered, I chase, shouting, "Hey, kid!" 2 fond syllables, a minimal message on Main Street. You run like a girl, not the huntress Diana. You are the wounded, a fawn or foal's flung slender limbs. I'll never catch you like this, running like Iron Man. If you make it through the door, from the night empty street, I'll be civilized in the pub. And among our friends, this will be too incongruous to mention.
Finality. If you do not see me dancing about, shadowboxing in these weaknesses of sun blowing across the fitted blocks of stone, or jaunt leaping against the four walls with the massive weathered iron rings delicately flaking from the blows of the ancient forge, weighty and commanding enough to secure by their fixed presence the understanding and submission of creatures greater than I, whether dragon-winged and clawed, or the subtlest, most nearly invisible form of contrary thought stilled here. Where else to be atop this green-gray peak above the sea? It would be useless to run. I could vault these walls and scramble down the grade, cower in the wind beside some spear-leafed bush. There's no solemnity in that, exposed to the everywhere sky, nor will I play my harmonica. I'm not here to kill time, but to regard the last of it. Time in this stone bowl given for its purpose and its purpose alone, and one breathes without argument what one is given to breathe. These gusts of creation, the primal noun, the spoken brooding will, I hear, in fear the beginning of wisdom, in loyalty, peace. Oh no, he is not the cat you put out at night and love when you need him.
In season passing. 2 bags of peaches from Gowan's farm. Too much for the brief ripeness all at once. The summer leaves its farewell. But not until the gush of these great lobes pours through my face, these 8 plumps in cute sacks, looped handles to heft and swing, your weights will soon be mine, orange red until the yield of the pit, tossed into the accepting verdance of the canyon. Sun, come round again next year. You hear?
We do. All right, you're listening to Tribute to Gordon Black, a living tribute to Gordon Black. It started off with Dan Roberts with his own poetic tribute to Gordon called On the Trail, Crossing Paths with Gordon Black, followed by Joe Smith doing Overhearing Door Vault, Janferie Stone reading Date, Tom Roberdeau reading Oh She Clings, Gordon Black in his own words reading Studio, Joe Smith reading Fine, Janferie Stone reading Pursuit, Thomas Roberdeau reading Finality, and concluding with Gordon Black in Season Passing. Just reminding you, this is Blake Moore, and you're listening to Cartwheels on the Sky. Keep on listening.
San Fran signal. Pedestrian crossing, smart and white light, a shining example through the night doorway. Impertinent to shuffling joy in the Buena Vista where Irish coffee and Dos Equis anoint my welcoming vision. Limbs posed to cross-hide, elbows significant. Here's how you do it. Lean forward and, nope, the orange hand. Sit here? Sure be happy, Aurelia, black woman touring from Chicago, married, what we say might as well be true. I like your eyes, your friendly face. Do you sing like no other bird? I'm willing to believe strangers can talk better than friends. Shine on, white pedestrian. Stop! Orange hand, off and on. Hello, goodbye. Drunk in the city, short skirts at the bar, knees turning. Who should care if I write in my necktie, jacket, and hat? In my appointment book, lost pages, wrong month. No, I won't be famous, Aurelia. Don't tell anyone. Let friends flash. The camera, gone. Below Tiffany glass, above the door frame, address leaded backward over the hand, warming, bright. Now here's how: elbow back, wrist ahead, cuffs need of hands and feet. Townsman goes smartly at night to walk in white light.
Beside the highest highway, sprinkles and thunder chasing the t-shirts. I can sit here with you and mountains. I'm in the rain gear. You just hold tight wherever you are. Around us sketch a jagged line, cold, stony, and green, with dark and bright splashing the slopes from several skies. Down there, timberline, halted by never ever tundra. feeling like me to root and issue a flower of comprehension. Pink rocks and crystals breaking through at our feet there, August snowpack. The more patiently we watch, the more rapid the movements. Lean into me. Let's persist together quietly until our time for change.
Hometown river scene. Paradise is the name of an island you reach by taking the Paradise Island boat. Buccaneers have never daunted the valorous bluecoats of the Paradise Island excursion queen. Serious shipping, steel death defiers from across the truth-testing Atlantic, shaking and holding in the palm of a giant frightened men to God's eye. No, the Paradise Island boat stern wheels past these shaken men and their tested steel, like grandma's three-tiered wedding cake being cradled to heaven in a illumined damask sling by two little winged cherubs, not to mention blasting the earth's atmosphere shake with a steam whistle. One is awed by the power of sentiment. And on this festooned barge, children chase from dock to deck, clearly the floating laces of old pleasure boat carpentry, sieving in fine heraldry the stiff and steady river wind, straining care from the air with the white paint frolic of its filigree. Ahead, at the end of the river, are the lands of paradise, green-tiered, white-latticed monarchies of elders picnic-tabled. Paradise happens to be under the ownership of Canada. The Mountie on the dock carries himself in nightly comport as families voyage in embassy, debarking, the elders to make peace, the children to thrive.
Milltown ownership declares a 25% cutback in wages and benefits, or the mill will be closed. Offshore, concussive soundings for undersea oil score the muffled drum for declining fishery. Shutdown. Out the window, the hard-working harbor transpires, gliding, glimmering, masts trimmed in orderly thickets under a downslope of timber, last stand. Inside here, no one knows less about it. In an engine room, land lubbering, a heart pumping and closed cavity, propelling production, pulsing. While the North Fleet readies to gather, it's not asking too much, I hope, in these times of fish-swallowing fish and tide-changing chemistry, to pray for more of the curse of God, the sweat of Adam, embracing our exertions, clinging. Above us, the mill is clamped in big jaws. The town shudders.
Not quite loneliest road. The night ride is urgent, saddled behind a single beam, speeding into blindness. On the solitary road, one painted line forever, and that's all. When ahead, in desert darkness, an array of lights. What? A rectangular display. What? A truck waiting to cross. No, not waiting. A big red door. A big red door. Immense red door with my name about to be printed on it. No, I'm not ready for history. Oh, the chrome bumper, impressive in profile, over the line of civility, must be 2 feet high. Don't fear you'll dent or scratch it. Here goes. The only chance, off to the shoulder, if there is a shoulder, into the dark, meditating. Without emotion. No time for that broken neck. Both those words discreetly discernible in the blink of deep dark. And oh, the heavy bike, big haunches, good knees, bounds with agility. From darkness to light upon the pavement and roll on. Try that for joy. Though you won't know that slight tap took the saddlebag and turn signal and modified plans until you reach town for steak and eggs, $5 in the gambling hall, juicy, tender, flavorful, wet pitchers, sliding cold water. Hey! Then find gone the gentleman's appearances for lunch at the Ritz, the words to read at the Slam, these pages found later crumpled and ripped. This is my body. I'll get used to it.
Borderlands. Once ours, ours again. threats or greetings, gifts of bread and salt, ceremonies firm on assured ground, or fire and sword. God, why, too rich, too poor, the times of peace and war, we lift our fear to you, and it rises again. Hear the marks, histories, blackened timbers, kings of stone, told in a piece called Fortunate because upon these lands it has no ground. Others, like ourselves, negotiated dignity and shame to declare themselves in the shifting moment, to say of the borderline, I am here and not there.
Watch and wait. The rest is illusion, the reality of this skinned log pole, weathered planetary toteming into its own fierce eyes, power electricity into its steel eye bells from other totems, other eyes, man-made lightning, wizard hope of Dust Bowl, singing socialist, hot-brained V.I. Lenin and his Marxist, Leninist, and rural Republicans all hail. Heck, no, they're not steel, they're ceramic. Look closer, like red men, seeing big canoes driven by clouds caught in trees. No, tied in poles. No, huge blankets, people, a lodge afloat, impressive join work, of course ceramic. The reality is illusion. If the storm breaks a line, the electric blanket cools. Here at West Ultima Thule, we change civilizations fast. Candles, acoustic music, aboriginal blood laughs, Abo blood barks, shudders and strife for peaceful escape from 1,000 hands of another world. No frozen entrails in the forest, airline hot, but the frog organ happy, rain-wet clay, gluttonous spirits piping. Can it last? Someone ate the turkey, then the Indians, something devouring, trampling, breaking the earth. This coast was called by Pomo, land of many ailments. Call this now good medicine. Beyond the trees watches the beast with its brood, biding favorable weather.
Double rainbow. Above the split rail fence, minding the lost orchard. Blue blowing bright white into dark drums flashing. Sprinkles on my face like you playing from a star-painted bucket. See, they're photographable. Here's the cabin under vivid arches. Look up, all gone.
Well, yes, indeed. That about wraps up this edition of Cartwheels on the Sky, Poets, Poems, and Discoveries, right here on KGUA. Just let you know that last set you heard Joe Smith reading Gordon's poem San Fran Signal, Janferie Stone reading Gordon's poem Beside, Thomas Roberdeau with Hometown, Gordon Black himself reading Milltown, Joe Smith reading Gordon's poem Not Quite, Gordon Black once again reading Borderlines, Thomas Roberdeau reading Gordon's poem Watch and Wait, and finishing off with Janferie Stone reading Gordon's poem Double. I want to thank you all again for listening, and a big shout out to Gordon Black. Thanks for all you do for poetry. Have a great night, everyone. Stay tuned for more great programming right here on KGUA Gualala.